And welcome back to the TSF Entertainment Channel. It is your boy Retro CG in the building tonight, and I am joined by Mr. DJ Fresh, Your Highness.
What's going on, bro?
What's good with you, brother? How was your week?
I'm just glad. Well, I can't even say this week is over, but
It's not over for me yet either.
it is what it is at this point. It is what it is.
And that's unusual for me because usually my week is over by now. But tonight, this week, it's not over yet.
It's not over yet. Yeah, for me at all. But like you said, it is what it is. Roll with the punches.
Roll with the punches. We got to go with the flow. So tonight, we are here to talk about Bel Air. It is the season finale of season 2, episode 10. Don't look back. This is our review and our recap. Let me go ahead and put this little disclaimer out here. The views and opinions expressed on this channel are strictly that of our own. They are for entertainment purposes. They are not a depiction of our views of people and characters and genders in real life. They are just our views and opinions about the show. So, we're grown folks over here. So, we have a little tendency to be a little overcritical about some of the scenes. But anyway, we just here for a good time. And like I said, this is for entertainment purposes. Exactly. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hit you guys with that intro real quick. And then we'll be back to break this episode on down. And we are back. Fresh.
Yo.
Think about the episode.
I mean, it wasn't I'll say this. It wasn't a bad season finale. I mean, the episode was kind of predictable. It also, to me, seemed like it was more geared towards Will for the most part.
A redemption episode at that.
Yeah, it was like a redemption. Like he had a revelation or whatnot. So it was like he trying to right all of his wrongs. It was like we barely got to see any of like the other characters situations. I mean, they left like little bits and pieces here and there, but it was just more so like this is the redemption episode for Will.
For me, it was a pretty good episode. I think this was probably my favorite. Well, as far as story development, this was probably one of my favorite episodes. I'm just gonna say this right now before we even get to it. Carlton needs his ass beat. Carlton needs his ass beat. Run and fade on Carlton right now. He yoked up Ashley.
Oh.
He yoked up Ashley.
We'll get to that scene, but that was just coke rage right there.
But overall, I thought the episode was pretty decent. I thought it was a decent way to end the episode, end the season. It actually kind of felt like if we didn't know already that they had been renewed for season 3, it almost felt as if it was almost a closure episode. Like this was a good way they could have ended the series almost.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Carlton was tripping. What's up, y'all? Yeah, Carlton was tripping. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. Let's go ahead and talk about this thing. All right, so the episode starts off with Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv. They're sitting down at the mansion. Uncle Phil is, kind of bringing Aunt Viv up to speed on what's going on with this whole Doc situation, how he's kind of been strong-arming and helping Doc. And he ain't feeling it like, oh, no, I don't want to help dude out. But, at the same time, they're worried about what collateral damage this fallout could have with Will and his potential for his basketball career. So, he's kind of like, I might. What'd you think, bro?
Yeah, I agree, dude, with the same thing. That was pretty much like this scene right here. He just getting up to speed and like he ain't want to help him at all, but of course, Viv, she's just worried about, you know, the I'm not even about to try to sit up here because I know I'm about to mispronounce that word. His eligible, you know what I mean, but to play basketball along with the other kids. So
Oh, his eligibility to
yeah,
play
yeah,
basketball.
yeah,
Quintessential, they have been renewed already for season 3, so they are renewed for season 3.
yeah. They already renewed.
Let's just hope they don't take 2.5 years to get it, but they've been renewed. But yeah, and I kind of figured that that's what this was going to be. Like, I left last week's episode knowing that Uncle Phil was going to end up helping Doc, regardless of whether or not he wanted to or not. He was going to do it on behalf of Will. Will is out here on the basketball court.
Wow.
He's playing a pickup game. He is wilding out. Will need his ass beat too, and I thought he was finna get it.
I thought Jazz was gonna go at it with him.
Yeah.
I thought that was gonna be the whatchamacallit, and they was gonna go at it. They was gonna have a little tussle real quick. I definitely thought that, but you know what I'm saying? It ain't happening. Yeah.
Same way. I kind of wanted Jazz to yoke his ass up a little bit because he was like disrespectful. He was way disrespectful.
He was disrespectful to Jazz, to the OG basketball player. Like he told him, like, bro, this is LA, this ain't Philly. Like, you gotta remember where you at. Like, you might not make it back home.
That part.
Like, and probably if Jazz wasn't there, he might not have made it back home.
And I think Jazz mentioned that JB had called and said, yo, you need to get down here and see about your boy down here. He wilded out. I wish they would have shown that, even if it was a text. Because we haven't seen that character since like episode 1.
Yeah.
Maybe episode 2. Maybe episode 2 we hadn't seen that character yet.
So that should tell you enough right there.
Yeah.
All about him.
Not important.
Quintessential, I think Jazz is mid-20s. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I think he is. I think he's mid-20s or whatever. Because if he's dating Hilary and Hilary's in her early 20s,
he giving me like 25.
Yeah, somewhere around there. What's up,
somewhere around that. Yeah. Yo, Carlton is up at the school. He decides he's going to go into his locker and give him a little pick me up. He need a little pick me up for the day, to get through the day. And I'm like, he's brazen enough at this point now to do it in the hallway, and he's got his whole head in the locker. Like, that's not suspicious. And Miss Basson, whatever the
I don't remember her name.
Sellout teacher came through, and she's like, "Oh, Carlton, you're gonna win the Founders Award and everything." I'm thinking to myself, like, how did she not see him just stick this whole thing of flour up his nose?
Exactly, his whole head was in the locker, so I thought for sure she caught him, and I thought then she was gonna say something, and then he was gonna try to finesse his way out of it. But she ain't never say nothing. I was like, okay, that's impossible. There's no way in the world that you did not see this man with his whole head in the locker. And like that's impossible.
Yeah. Quintessential, you ask a very good question, and I'm going to redirect that question. Why do you think Jazz put up with Will in his foolishness? Is it because he tried to get at Hilary? Is it because he generally has a good friendship with Will? Why do you think Jazz takes the shit from Will?
Me personally, I think it's because, for one, I think he can, in a sense, relate to Will because Will's from Philly, and I believe he said he was from Compton or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he can relate to him. He out there, so he can relate that. 2, I think he also realized it's like Will is a kid, and I'm grown, so he acting like a little kid right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like almost like I think he look at him like as a little brother in a sense, because he been out there since the first episode.
Right.
And remember, I think on the end of last season, or maybe it was the beginning, he told him like Bel Air will change you, and don't let it change you.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah, when they was overlooking the hills and stuff, he told him then like, yeah, these Bel Air is different than these Philly streets. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's what it is. I think the Hilary stuff that just happened to come along with it. I don't really think that's got anything to do with it. I think he just see him as, you know what I'm saying, Will cool. I just think he look at him more like a little brother.
Good point. Well, I'm not going to be as I'm not going to be as expressive as Xavier is in his thoughts. But I do think she plucking and finessing as well. I think she working Carlton over because at the end of the day, she's probably a big part of the reason why he was nominated for the Founders Award.
Mm-hmm.
Welcoming in Belle Perspective to the panel. What's up, Belle?
Hey, how y'all doing?
What's going on, Belle?
What's up, Belle? Long time no hear from.
I know.
Well, welcome back to the channel. So I'll put myself on pause real quick and give you a minute to give us your thoughts on the episode.
So in the beginning, I started thinking, okay, this is going to be very predictable. We're not moving anywhere. We're not doing anything new. I still feel ultimately it was predictable, but I appreciated a few pieces here and there. I'll say that.
Okay. Well, right now we're talking about the teacher approaching Carlton in the hallway, and he's sticking a whole thing of Coke up his nose, and she didn't even see it.
I'm like, how does she miss that? Honestly, I just don't feel like she care about what any of these students are doing as long as they making her look good. She don't care. That personally is how I feel.
Right. That's what we were pretty much just talking about. Like, she don't give a shit about it. She's trying to get that job. She's trying to get that job.
Exactly. She don't give a damn about them kids.
Will decides after he rudely tells Jazz, fuck you, and walk off on him. Jazz is trying to look out for him and keep him from getting his little ass beat out there on the court. He goes down to the beach to, kind of, relish in his sorrow. And of course, Lisa shows up. Someone said it last week. I agree. I think that they have really they kind of moved Lisa's character forward a little bit. She seems a little bit more older. She's portrayed a little bit more older to be a junior, and they even dressed in her like when they had her dressed for the event. She looked much older than what her character should be.
Really?
But she shows up to. I feel like she does. She shows up to comfort Will, and basically she was just returning the favor, paying him back from when he showed up for her when her baby brother was being born.
Yeah.
So I said right here, yeah, they're getting back together this episode. I knew.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be right here. Honestly,
I was confused because I thought one of the last real conversations that they had was we can't be friends, and so now they're trying to move into this friendship space. Maybe I'm lost or late, but
well, she told him that. Remember when she was at Aunt Viv's art gallery?
Yeah.
And she saw him with Jackie. That was the only reason why I felt like she told him that, was because she saw that he had moved on with someone else. So she was just pretty much cutting bait at that point. But if you go back and look at the episode, you look at her facial expression, it's like this is what my mouth's saying, but my heart ain't saying the same thing. Yep. So I knew that she wasn't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Xavier, talk about the elderly looking wigs. I can't feel.
Oh no, it's real. Xavier, no, you are absolutely right. I was like, she looked like somebody auntie a couple episodes ago. She looked like somebody auntie. I promise she did. I was like, girl, what the hell, Jerry curl you got? What is this?
That goes back to what I was saying. They have her looking so much older.
Okay, yeah, okay. So I agree with you. You're right. I feel like she was being, just speaking to this.
Yeah,
this
she was in
entire episode,
progress.
I feel like Lisa was desperate. She looked real desperate to me. But anyway, I'll point out some of it.
Hilary don't put that thing down on Lamarcus and fixed him something to eat. He said, man, this is delicious. And I had a good time last night. What's up? Let's go. Let's hop on a private jet and let's go down to Paris for the weekend. I'm like, what's up?
ASAP.
Let's go.
Flying you out.
You don't have to pack no bags. Let's go. We get some stuff on the way.
I am not mad at that. Go ahead, Hilary.
Hilary said she don't got her to come up.
Get your things girl. Get your things. I'm
She's
not
trying to get her
mad at it.
things. She getting her things. She got her a billboard, and she got her a
Yes.
rich boyfriend.
I am not mad at it. Get your things, girl.
Get your
'em.
things. So she kind of feels a little reticent. She's a little hesitant. She's a little like, I don't know if I really want to do this. Like, we might be moving a little too fast, getting back into this thing. He's like, but shit, after what happened last night, we can go ahead and keep this momentum going, And so she really don't want to go, but at the same time, she do want to go, but she's still thinking about Jazz, but trying not to think about Jazz. That's the way I perceived it.
Yeah. I'm with her. Honestly, I feel like Lamarcus is the right move.
Why do you feel that way?
For now.
Why do you feel that way?
Just because I feel like if a man, or not man, if a person, I'm not going to make this gender based, if a person is feeling insecure about you, like even when Jazz went to the house or wherever where they had that face off, and he was like, I think that you're too good for me. I don't feel like that's healthy, and it's always gonna find its way to creep back.
Hey, Xavier, French is not a lame language.
What damn, Xavier? He be going off in these comments.
Moi, je m'appelle Monsieur Christophe. French is not a lame language, okay?
All right.
It's not a commonly spoken bilingual language, but it's not lame. But they mentioned that because I think when they were in college or something, maybe they took AP French together or whatever.
Yes.
So it's kind of like they communicated in French. So that was kind of neat to see them have that little chemistry. I don't know what it is that I feel about Monsieur Lamarcus. I feel like something is not right about him. He's too good to be true. He's Mr. Perfect.
Yes.
And I feel like at first I thought it was that he just wanted to bag her and go about his business, but it don't seem like that's the catch. Like, what is the catch? Because I don't feel like he's this genuine. Like,
I get that. I agree with you on that. But I don't think Jazz is the answer either. I don't think any of these men are the answer, just to let y'all know. But if he offering flights to Paris, I'm going. You know what I'm gonna hop on the flight. But also I don't feel like Jazz is the good dude either. Like I don't feel like he fit for her either. So
I almost get the vibe and feeling, not that anything that the character has shown, just me thinking ahead in the writing. I almost feel as though the character is going to flip the script on her once she gets into him.
I agree.
And he becomes a little possessive, maybe a little controlling, maybe like you my trophy wife, trophy piece type thing.
Yep.
So
yeah.
Almost kind of like abusive, but not maybe physically abusive, but maybe a little mental abusive,
Yeah.
And maybe try to control her with money and assets or something like that. I don't know. Maybe that's that. Or maybe he could just be a genuine guy, but on TV we don't really meet genuine guys anymore. So there's a hidden agenda here somewhere.
Yeah,
I feel the same way.
And could be holding on to a little payback. Because he mentioned when he came back around that she broke up with him, left him heartbroken. So maybe he's trying to get back in real good and hit her with the switch up.
That's so petty. That would be so petty.
It's TV. Let me hit you with the switch up.
This?
Jezebel.
Jezebel. Harlot. Ooh. Hussy. Ooh, no. Ooh. Go ahead, y'all. Sorry.
I take it you don't care much for the character.
Listen, Vivian, tap me in. I'll give a quick 2-piece and a biscuit.
Not you gonna give her a 2-piece.
Yes.
Erica's a nice lady.
I know you lie. Okay.
I'm being facetious.
Yes.
So Philip hits Erica with the switch up, and I like that. Uncle Phil, I like the way he's moving. I like it when you're moving. You thought that you was gonna get what you got, but I got what I needed up off of you. But now let me go ahead and drop this bomb on you real quick. So you see this building we up in? They're my shit.
Cool.
They're my new shit. Right? So all them clients that you got for me, run me them clients over here in my new firm. And we just gonna send invoices back and forth to each other. You just gonna outsource me, for the heavy lifting. And yeah, that part. She's like, well, you're supposed to be taking a job with me. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm still working with you, but this is gonna be my building. This is gonna be my firm, and that's gonna be it. So I see what Uncle Phil is trying to do. He's trying to establish a professional distance between the two of them because he know that
a distance and is it professional? I mean, you using words loosely to describe what they got going on.
Xavier, you said you were wrong. I can't believe you're actually admitting that. Vivian had the right to be angry with this lady. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she had the right to be angry with this lady, but I think y'all broke it down to me real good when we talked about that, is that she knew that she probably needed to, go with the get down just to keep a closer eye on her because, if she would have been, resistance towards it in the beginning, it probably would have created a distance between her and Phil. So I think she played her position very well, but she better keep an eye on this one right here because this one thing, she's hot.
It's easier for her to get closer to the. You have to keep your friends closer and your enemies closer. If you show your defense up front, then she probably wouldn't allow her to get in and be able to see. Vivian need to keep your eye on this one right here because she. Anyway,
I think we're gonna see that in season 3 though.
Yeah.
Miss Janice, go ahead, Fresh. Tap in, Fresh. What's going on with Janice? Miss Janice.
Hey, yo, I can tell you the best part I liked about this scene was that she cussed. I wasn't expecting that. I was like, man, they got OG on Viv, second OG on Viv cussing on the show. I said, man,
wilding out.
I said, oh shit.
Miss Janice was ready to throw them hands. Like, yo, like, you think you gonna take my shit? You think you gonna take my shit?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I got something for you.
Yeah. I was like, all right.
I was like, okay. I was like, this what we doing? Okay, this what we doing. But I mean, it seemed like, in my opinion, Vivian was right though. Like, I mean, you was on her neck like the entire time ever since.
Stepping.
Yep. Ever since we got the fellowship. You and the other, which was Will's mom that we only saw for one episode, like, y'all was on her neck about her artwork, all this different other stuff. Like, you kept trying to change her or whatever. So, I mean, like she said, if I didn't take it, they was gonna give it to somebody else.
Facts. And you're right. We even talked about that, how she was, had hit her with a rearrangement. And like, you came at me a different way to get me the fellowship. And now that I'm here, you trying to tell me how to do this. Like, I'm the artist, So how you may paint these pictures, that's good for you, Miss Janice, but you ain't painting these pictures, Miss Janice, so back the fuck up off of me.
Yep. But without John, Fifth wouldn't have been able to change.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah. It was part for the course to move the story along. I get it.
Yeah.
In a sense. And I say in a sense.
But it also conveyed a very good message too. Later on in the scene, I feel like it really established a message. Because oftentimes we don't celebrate one another. In real life, sometimes we see people have opportunities similar to ours, or maybe a better opportunity than that was afforded to us. Instead of us celebrating that and welcoming that, we discourage that. We try to, be overcritical of it or critical of someone else's way of doing things. So it really sent a good message, especially for Black women, to celebrate themselves a little bit more and not be in this endless competition for, well, it's my opportunity. I want to keep it with myself. Like she told her right. She told her right. Like, listen, they came to me with this opportunity. I didn't approach them with this opportunity, and you came to me with the fellowship opportunity. So this is my time. Let me shine.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
This lame ass dude right here.
Do he look like Chris Brown to you? Do he look kind of like Chris Brown before the drugs, for the crack? I mean,
not
for
the
white girl.
This dude is so freaking corny, yo. He is so corny, yo. He is on my last nerve, yo. I want Carlton to beat his ass again. Like, dude, he just like a roach. Like you can't stomp on him enough. He keep coming back.
It's
Like,
like
damn,
I didn't understand it because it was just like, yo,
hating ass.
you didn't learn from when Carlton, like you got beat up in front of everybody, and yet you still
You
becoming
still out here whispering in somebody's ear about some. Yeah, he's a bitch. I can't stand him. I don't like him. Do not
But
like
I was shocked that he revealed to Lisa that he was the one that he was the one that leaked the video. I was shocked by that.
Yeah, well, she she had called him on his bullshit in this scene right here. She was like, "Yo, so what's up with that video?" Because he was hating because she was walking up with Will. Oh, you and Will spent the day together, whatever. She was like, "Oh yeah, my business and yours." And he's like, "Well, what about that video? What's up with that video?" Well, I'll see you later, Lisa. Nah, go ahead and jump to the chase. You running around here whispering in her ear, whatever. I'm glad she didn't give him no more time because I was like, Lisa, you don't need to be with this dude. This dude's too corny for you, yo. Like, go on about your business.
I had high hopes for him too.
High hopes for what? That he gonna get his ass beat again?
No, I had high hopes that he would be somebody that Lisa could date so she could stop being so thirsty over Will.
Nah, he thirsty.
And looking like a pass around.
She is a bit of a pass around.
That's what and that's all I'm
Lord,
saying.
God forbid. Again, this is a view and opinion for entertainment purposes, not a depiction of the character's real life personality.
Right.
But in this scenario, she was a pass around.
Yes, in this scenario.
In this scenario. Speaking of scenarios, we right back to a familiar place with Phil and Vivian. Vivian has the conversation with Phil, enlightening him on the conversation that her and Janice had just had regarding the fellowship and the executive director opportunity. She tells Phil basically Janice threatens to go to the media and create negative press in regards to her wanting to take over the position. Phil advises her that maybe it's time for her to move on since she's been having nothing but issues with this fellowship. Vivian gets upset and says, "You never want to support my dreams. I always support yours. I help you push through yours. You want me to run away from mine." That was a big message.
Yeah, I was glad she actually said that because I was
too.
like, maybe now he finally gets to see exactly. Although, in a sense, the Jezebel kind of put that in her head last episode.
Yeah, she fed her
that. She fed her that, but it was the truth because
y'all calling her Jezebel for real.
I honestly forgot her actual name.
It don't matter. It's Jezebel.
But yeah, I mean, if you can't decide that shit hard. But
I'm going to Phil's side this episode for other reasons, not for this particular reason, because I think Vivian does make a good point here. And I don't think that he's doing it intentionally. I don't think he's intentionally not trying to be supportive or not supportive of her dreams. However, he's just doing what a husband should do. He's just doing what anyone that cares about another person and seeing someone struggle with something, you may give them that bit of advice that they may not want to hear. Doesn't mean I don't support you, but I'm just trying to make you look at it from a different perspective, because if you're having issues now, you get too deep into this thing, you're going to have more issues, which we've said over and over again that this job ain't going to turn out to be what she expects it to be. So, it's a little foreshadowing, actually. Go ahead, Bill.
I just have a question, and I don't want to make it about gender. I don't want to do that. But I just wonder if he would have the same solution. Would he propose that same solution to either Will or to Carlton or to Jeffrey or any of his, male colleagues or anyone who he was offering advice to? I would wonder if he would ever propose the same solution or approach to a solution to male colleagues versus his daughters or his wife or his sisters or his mom. I just wonder if that conversation would be a little bit different.
The answer is yes.
Yeah,
right.
We saw that with Will. We saw that with Will in the whole Xena thing, because he did give Will that same hard, I know that I'm going to probably step into some shit when I say this to him, but I'm going to say it anyway because I'm his uncle and I care about him. I love him. But Will, this ain't a good fit for you. So, we can find other ways to get you into the league. We can find other ways to get you into the school that you want to go to. But, maybe we might need to go down this path right here. So the answer is yes for me.
I don't know.
Fresh.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What you say?
What's your response?
Oh, no. I agree with you 100%. I think, like Bell said, I think it would have been different. I think because not not being like he's chauvinistic or
Right,
anything of that. I
right,
think it's more so because he looks at his daughters and his wife, Vivian, is like, okay, let's wrap this up because I gotta like let's do it this way because I'm trying to protect you. Whereas Carlton, Jeffrey, and Will, he's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna protect them, but I still gotta let them fight their own battles. So I think, yeah, I think it would have been. I definitely think it would have been totally different. Him saying that to one of them, I agree with that. I think it definitely would have been different. I don't think it would have been the same approach how he approached with her. I just think he always looks at it as I'm just trying to because I think didn't he say in this I'm just trying to help alleviate your stress or something like that. Like
Trying to make a
so I
better
think
life.
that's all he's trying to do. He's just trying to figure like, okay, well she's stressed out. Let me figure out the easiest way out. This is the easy way. This is the easiest way out. You know, like let's just let it go. Like I don't want you to be stressed out. Whatever. I think that's all it is. I think he just trying to look at it. I think he just has that firm, protective, like stance on. I got to protect them. I got to protect everybody, but with Will and all them at the same time, I still got to let them be, you know, their own man. I can't hold their hands forever. But that's just me. So
Belle, you got something you want to say, so go ahead and say it.
No, because I don't want to stay on this. I don't want to stay on this.
Get your point off.
Oh, real quick so we can move on because I know we ain't trying to be on here all night long. But I feel like it may be good intentions. But I do feel like it's rooted in a little bit of sexism. I'll just say it's rooted in a little bit of sexism because the only difference between Carlton and Hilary is their gender, like, and obviously age, right? But as far as like facing issues and facing adversity, like everyone should, if you're gonna give advice about facing adversity, it shouldn't be tailored to the gender of that person. If that makes sense, like, oh, I'm just trying to hurt them, like alleviate them real quick so they don't have to get involved with it. But my my sons and all of that, they gotta face it like men. I'm gonna try to do what I can, but they still gotta face it like men. Well, I mean, Hilary gotta face it too. She's gotta face her own adversity and be able to learn from it as well, even as a woman. So anyway, that was my only thought. I do think that there's a little bit of sexism. There's good intent, but there's still underlying sexism.
I'm gonna say this right before he jumped. I don't think it's sexism, only because I think of it like, for a prime example, like my father, the way he is with my sisters, and a lot of fathers, when they got daughters, they just overprotective. And that's like the first thing that come to their head is just like, yo, I gotta protect. Like the way, like I'm not even gonna lie, my father raised me and my sisters way different, like completely different. And I think that's just always just how it's just been that way for centuries. Like when you got a son, it's like, okay, I'm gonna protect him, but at the same time, I gotta raise him to be a man. Oh, I got a daughter, I'm just going to protect her. That's just my number one, and my wife. That's just my number one thing. I just think that's all it is. But I see where you're going with the, you know what I'm saying, with the sexism, because it's still tailoring to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it this way to the boys, and then I'm gonna say it this way to the girls. So I get exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, just and being a girl, well, a woman now, but as a girl, I had a brother, and I could see the difference. So ask your sister how it felt to see. Ask the differences, and then maybe you'll see, like, oh, okay, maybe it might have been a little bit of sexism. Because on the opposite end, we see the difference, and it's big. It's a huge difference. Anyway, keep going. Sorry.
So Will has a moment. He's back in his room, and he's just kind of thinking through everything that's going on with him, and kind of going back to his disappointment last week with finding out Doc He decides to FaceTime his mom. First time we've seen her all season. Last
Yep.
episode.
Yeah, this is. We haven't seen her all season. We ain't seen her since last season.
Yep. I
I was
think.
surprised she knew half the things that was going on. I'm like, oh, she knew
Yeah.
about that?
Yeah. And he breaks down on the phone with her, and he was like, "I just wish I can get through this and get over it and move on because like all the men in my life are disappointing me." But that kind of makes me feel like Will has this expectation that everyone is going to rescue you from your problem. And his mom pretty much tells him the same thing that I was thinking, like, you quit looking for a solution through somebody else. Find that for find your peace within yourself. Like, I get the whole situation with your father. You said you don't need him, but you can need him and not need him at the same time. I felt what you were saying for that. You want his love and affection, but at the same time, you are at an age right now where you don't necessarily want to be parented by him. So, same goes with Uncle Phil, because Uncle Phil was there for you and tried to parent you, but you rejected that. So, again, what you're looking for is in self, not with someone else. So, I felt that mom's advice on that.
Me too. So there was like little gems throughout the show. I was like, "Ooh, that was good." That was
Xavier
good.
said she was on another show. That makes sense then. Why we didn't see her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Xavier know everything. Like, bro, do you work for TMZ or something?
I'll tell you.
Like, he be knowing everything.
Xavier's in school for film.
Oh.
Yeah, I think he goes to school for film.
Okay.
Well, that makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Ooh.
So that's gonna be our little producer director. Xavier, when you make it big, don't forget about us, okay? Don't forget about us, right?
Xavier, you young? How old is Xavier? How old are you?
Like, we can get some plots, twists, and stuff.
Right. Get us over there in the writer room for whatever show you're working on.
I got a couple scripts.
Man, this thing here.
Hilary comes over to have a discussion with her parents, and very seldom do we see her actually speak to both of her parents at the same time regarding something that she's challenged with. She came over under the guise that she needed a suitcase, but really she wanted to peek he's 23. She wanted to peek their advice, or she wanted to kind of get in their head about whether or not she should go on a trip with Lamarcus. And they kind of talk about jazz but not talk about jazz at the same time. And I really like the fact that her parents didn't really get involved. They didn't really ask too many questions about, well, what happened with you and jazz or whatever. They kind of supported whatever she wanted to do, and they kind of encouraged her to go on a trip because we know that they like Lamarcus. And I'm not going to say they don't like jazz, but they seem to be more receptive to her having a relationship with Lamarcus. So you can tell. Then they have their little spat in the middle of trying to give her advice at the same time. Oh yeah, we already know where this is stemming from.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't see it as, I think it was more so Phil, because I think Phil ain't like, you know what I'm saying? I think, remember when they met, he had his whole antennas up when he found out about her and Jazz. So
Yeah.
I think he just like, which we'll get to later in the scene, it's just because of the simple fact that Lamarcus got money, he got status, etc. He can give her whatever she want, like how he can now, where Jazz can't do that. So that's why I looked at it as he was pushing, like, yeah, you go with him, because like I said, you go with him, he's gonna take care of you the way I take care of you. So
and give you the lifestyle that you're used to having.
Give you the lifestyle you used to having, and I think he said that you deserved. But then it was funny that she even brought up the that Jazz said that she was superficial, but it was also funny how this kind of resonated to me from the original Fresh Prince, how ditzy Hilary was, because I didn't understand how the entire time you not realizing that both of them are having a whole spat right in front of you. You just sitting there just like, should I? Like, like she, I'm like, how you not recognizing this?
Bill?
I don't know. I thought it was a cute scene. I thought it was kind of funny. I was just like Fresh, like, girl, how you don't pick up that they arguing back and forth? I did kind of like take a little pause when she said that Jazz told her that she was superficial. I don't think Hilary has ever been. They haven't portrayed Hilary to me in my perspective, that she was superficial at all.
I agree.
So I was kind of like rolling my eyes a little bit about that, and I was like, "Ugh, go on that trip, girl," because Jazz, he got some insecurities. Anyway.
Well, I think they're a little bit well placed. I mean, his perception may not be reality, but at the same time, it's insecurity that bleeds into reality. And what I mean by that is he's a regular Joe guy. And, he's around people of a different social status than he's accustomed to being around. So he's just trying to find his place with this. Now you happen to be in a relationship with, this girl that she's got money, she's got status. You're just trying to feel your way out of like, how do I fit into this world? Because this is so indifferent for me. So I can understand why he may feel like she's superficial, but I agree. She was not portrayed in such a way, because if that was been the case, she wouldn't have gave you the time of day to begin with. Now, the original Hilary was portrayed as very superficial. Yes.
Yeah.
But I think.
Go ahead. Sorry.
But I think that he doesn't fail to see past all of the things that are like red flags for him. He doesn't see the fact that she's taking the interest in you, period. Because had she been as superficial as you think she was, she wouldn't fuck around with you.
And that's what I'm yelling at the TV. I'm like, Jazz, if she was all of these things, worried about money, superficial, blah, 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 wanted a baller, she would not be talking to you. So anyway, I don't.
Jazz need to take him some of Carlton's Xanax and just calm down.
Yes.
Speaking of Zanny, we have
shape.
So we didn't talk about it, but Miss Bazin, Miss Bastion, whatever her name is.
Yeah, whatever her name is.
That lady invited him to come and speak at a mental health awareness.
Yeah, it was something to that nature.
Type of event. Something they were having up at the school. Yeah. Maybe it was like mental health awareness day or something like that.
Yeah.
He speaks. And I really wanted him to speak more. It seemed like he came across very politician-like. But I really wanted him to speak more to his struggles with anxiety and all those things, since he had already publicly told everyone at the bowling event that he suffered from it. I really wanted him to tap a little bit more into that and give a more of a personal message to them. And I think that's why Drew approached him after the class and told him, like, look, you full of shit, dude. Like, listen, like, I'm not feeling you. I don't understand why Lisa's feeling you or whatever, but he's like, the way you got everyone else fooled, you ain't got me fooled. Drew is on point. He's still an ass.
Yeah.
But everything he says is absolutely correct to Carlton. Yes. And no one else has had the balls to tell Carlton about his shit.
Yeah.
Except
that's
for Drew.
why I appreciate him. Like, I think he's an asshole, but I still appreciate him.
Yeah.
For being honest. But keep going. Sorry.
The lady is bald headed. She needs to lie.
You know what? See, this is why.
Time out. Go away from us with this.
Please go away from us with this. I can't even. I'll be scared to read his comments because they don't tell what comes out his mouth. He speaks so freely.
No problem.
With no remorse. He tell Carlton, like, you full of shit, and everyone else is fool, but I ain't fool. So
that's true.
Miss me with all this stuff you try to tell these folks to win this award. And that's exactly what he's doing. He's snowing them over. Will goes to see Uncle Phil after he has his conversation with his mom. He goes to see Uncle Phil, and he pretty much advocates for Uncle Phil to reconsider his decision and not wanting, because Phil had already made his mind up that he wasn't going to help Doc with this whole Lorenzo thing. Again, I think that storyline was done poorly. He brings the fellas in from the team, and they sit down and have a conversation with Uncle Phil. They pretty much tell Uncle Phil that, we know what Doc is doing is maybe wrong per se, but like the things that he does for us, and we really got to hear a little backstory about what Doc has been doing for the players, making sure that he kept them with money when their families were struggling, and he bought a suit for one of the guys there who's trying to go to a job interview, gave them rent money and things like that. So he's been somewhat of a surrogate father to his team. What were y'all thoughts on that? Because I still wasn't buying it. Well, kudos to you, Doc,
Yeah.
but I still think you're a sleazy guy. And that's because of the writing. The writing has portrayed us in such a way that we weren't supposed to like you. Now on the ninth hour, I still don't like you. I don't care if we do find out you are the good guy. The way that the writing has portrayed the character is like, I don't want to root for you now. I'm not going to.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. This scene right here, I was just like,
yeah, nothing for me.
I was like, yeah, it ain't really doing. I was like, this ain't nothing but Will on his revelation journey.
Yep.
Right.
And now he's trying to
Will be an Avenger.
Yeah. Like let me right my wrongs.
Oh, Avenger symbol. Will's here.
And was just trying to help him. I mean, I'm with you. Like he might have helped him out, but still at that same time, at the very beginning, I mean, it was talked about what him and his business partner was doing. So at the beginning, he was sleazy. Now maybe now he's might have had that change of heart, but who knows when he was giving y'all this money and all this other stuff what he was doing. So
yeah, or where the money was coming from, because it might have been some of that street money that Lorenzo was talking about.
Do y'all think they're trying to like wrap his character up so they can move on to something else? Because that's almost how it felt. Like,
yeah,
I think so.
Do you know what I mean?
So.
Like, okay, so this is the bad guy for this season. We're gonna wrap him up real quick so we can move on to something else. It just.
Yeah.
I
don't think we're gonna see him next season. I don't think we will.
I hope not. I hope not. But if they would have stayed on the course that they were going with the writing with the character, I would have wanted to see more. But with this, I don't want to see Doc being the good guy. I wanted to see him as the villain.
Right.
And they really did a piss poor job with it. They should have, like I said last week, they should have reversed the roles. Lorenzo should have been the good guy that was trying to do good with Xena. And Doc should have been the one that's in the streets and ripping and running, because that's how they introduced the character to us, that he was shady.
Yep. Gave him that mystery.
Yep.
Yeah, they gave him that mystique and mystery about him. I agree.
Yep.
Speaking of which, there he is. He even looked like he is.
I was just thinking. I was like, look at him.
Oh.
Exactly, Michelle. We don't care if he helped out. We don't give a damn.
I'm right, Michelle. We don't care. We don't care so much that I don't even have anything to say. Do y'all?
I don't.
No, I really don't. No.
We can
we can move on. Yeah, no.
And we move. Vivian invites Miss Vivian. Vivian invites Vivian.
Yes.
Vivian invites Janice over to the house to apologize, but really she lured her over there to tell her, like, listen, I ain't backing down, lady. Here go this press release that I plan on putting out here, but you know what? I got a longer fight in this than you do, so you might want to reconsider going at me. You might want to go, but really they have a real adult conversation. Janice is still kind of in her bag a little bit, but she doesn't. Vivian does make good points that, listen, as Black women, we need to celebrate each other. We don't need to be publicly arguing and fighting about this, because even if it's not me that gets the job, someone else will, and they're not going to preserve your legacy like I plan on doing. So what do y'all think about how she handled Miss Janice?
Go ahead, Belle.
I kind of don't like how they trying to force this lady to retire when she wasn't planning on doing it. I mean, couldn't she be an assistant director, or
still
I don't know,
gave her a position at the fellowship?
Yeah, like I just don't like how they pushed her out. It just and then at the end, I mean it went over well, but just because it goes over well doesn't mean that the message isn't still fucked up. Like it's like it gave me y'all sorry, I'm reading this book about classism and ages. I'm just seeing it everywhere. Sorry. So it just seemed like they basically telling her, you too old, get the hell out. That's what I was getting from the whole conversation. So anyway,
there's a tad bit of that in how it's being portrayed.
Yeah.
However, I look past that to say, and the reason why I say that is because if the character would have stayed how she was when they introduced us to us, I would totally agree with what you're saying. But because of how she handled Vivian with the switch up on, her art and everything, I get the feeling that she may be creating, maybe I'm not gonna say a hostile environment at the
Mm-hmm.
fellowship,
Okay.
but more a difficult environment. Because as an artist, most artists are very carefree. They're not really into people, psychoanalyzing their work so much. I just felt
Mm-hmm.
like the way she came at Vivian and, just kind of like, do it this, do it my way, she wasn't receptive to change. And you had a different type of artist that the fellowship was not used to dealing with. You should have embraced that, capitalized off of that. So I feel like in order for the fellowship to ebb forward, they had to move her out of the way. Sometimes you have to move something. I'm not gonna say old, because now that you've made that comment, I don't want to say that the character's old, she needs to be fired.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to get rid of antiquated ways and maybe look at things more of an innovative way and try
Mm-hmm.
to, progress. And I don't think that Janice was willing to progress. She was very happy with things being done in its antiquated, old-fashioned ways.
Yeah.
And you're dealing with a different generation of artists than what you dealt with during the fellowship. So I think the fellowship needed a new face, fresh energy to make other artists, younger artists, to even be interested in wanting to apply for the fellowship.
I agree 100%. To
I
piggyback,
agree. I agree. I don't know.
to
Maybe they
pick,
should just hire Vivian on as like a consultant or something. So they're
Now
not.
that would have been good for her. That
She
would have
can.
been good for her.
Do you know
I
what I
mean,
mean?
Or maybe like a PR type person, like the
Yeah.
face of, like maybe like
Right.
a spokesperson, like a
Right. Or the
spokesperson,
talent person who reaches
or
out to
talent
other artists.
acquisition. Yeah, talent
Yes.
acquisition would have been good. Yeah,
Yes. Something like that.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, but like Quintessential was saying,
Xavier
it kind
said
of like
it.
an age move.
That's exactly what I was trying to say, Xavier, but not that way. But yeah,
Yeah, like she was stuck in the past.
yeah.
One, but I think the reason why so many people think it is the age is because we never got the backstory on the two women who came to approach Viv to want her to take that position,
And why they
you know,
wanted her, right?
and why they wanted her.
Why they wanted her?
So
Yeah.
if we had probably got that backstory, we probably would never even think about that it's ageism. We probably would see like, oh, that's exactly why. I think they just wanted us to guess like, oh, they wanted to go with her because Janice is making it hell for Vivian or whatnot.
You know what? I almost felt like the reason why they approached her was because Phil was running for DA, and that would have been a good look for the fellowship if he would have won DA and his wife would have been the naming fellowship. So I felt like there was a motive there as to why they wanted her specifically for that fellowship. And I don't feel like it was because of her art, because obviously it wasn't, because they were overcritical of it after she is the same pieces that won you over. It's the same pieces that she's producing now, but now you don't like it. So I just feel like there was some ulterior, there was a bigger picture that the fellowship was looking at for her as a candidate.
I thought the one
And we
right
never addressed, thank you, Xavier. I was going to say it at the end of the show, but since you brought it up, let's talk about it. What the freak happened to Reed? Did Jeffrey get to him? Jeffrey must have got to him.
probably.
Jeffrey
I
gave
feel
him.
like Jeffrey like a spy or hitman or he all the things.
Black 007.
007 for real.
And the character wasn't even recurring last season. He wasn't even recurring. I think he might have been in 1 episode, 2 episodes, 3 at best.
Yeah.
So we didn't even spend enough time with the character for us to be interested in him. But the only reason why we are interested in the character because of the plot that they built up, that he was going to try to, take something that didn't belong to him from her, So yeah, I agree. Whatever happened to Reed, we don't know. And I guess at this point, like Miss Sharon said, we don't care. So Uncle Phil goes down to In the previous scene that we skipped past, Will and Uncle Phil and Doc were sitting down having this great conversation, and they became all best friends. Lorenzo comes in, and Uncle Phil pretty much put the shakedown on him real good, tightened up that little chain a little bit around him, and was like, "Listen here, you gonna sign these papers or else." Dude wanted to go ahead and walk up out of there. So, hood money ain't good money for you no more. Jeffrey stepped in there real quick and was like, I don't believe the conversation was over. It'd be your best interest to sign these papers. That ain't what he said, but he was threatening him low
That's
key.
how he was looking.
Yeah, it was a threat low key.
Shout out to Jeffrey in them suits, man. Yes, that's how you do it. Sorry, continue on.
I have nothing else to say.
Shout out to Jeffrey.
This thing here, I don't know, man. It was just like this thing here. It was almost like it was just predictable. It was just like you knew at the end he was going to sign the paperwork.
Yeah, you knew he was going to sign the paperwork.
Why you even go through this long, drawn out scene and have Jeffrey come to and the crazy, that's the part that I didn't understand. I'm like, okay, this dude from the streets, he does this, he does that. He don't know Jeffrey, so it's like you just automatically back down because Jeffrey walk up to the door. Like you're supposed to be this big tough dude, then you yell at Doc and say, you know, what the homies gonna think about this back on the block. And I'm like, but dude, you almost in a sense was like scared of Jeffrey. But yeah, this was a long drawn out scene. They could have just cut it to the point where just like, yeah, like, hey, this is what's gonna happen. Buying you out, you take this money, you go this way, go this way. It was long drawn out for nothing.
I agree. And
yeah.
that was good.
It was corny, and he was talking like he was some young dude on the street. Like he grown, he like somebody's uncle. Like, sir, what the fuck? Like, really? This how 40, you still 50 years old?
Yeah.
You a pawpaw. I know
get
you
this money. Get this money and go on about your business.
Okay, go ahead. Put it to your 401k and your retirement plan, sir. Stop.
This dude from the street, I doubt that he has an IRA. He does not have an IRA.
He don't got no IRA. You right.
Fresh, what Will doing out here? What is Will?
I told you, Rebel. This is his redemption. This is a redemption episode. I told you. That's all it is. That's why I like when they pull. But what's crazy though, exactly when they pulled up. I didn't think they was gonna play against Zenith.
I didn't either.
I thought he was gonna just have some dudes out there from like the streets and was like, yeah, I'll beat them. Y'all can beat such team, whatever it was.
And of course, he gets his position back next year on the team. Of course, we knew that was gonna happen too.
I have issue. Did he do the soul hug with that white man? I was like, now when anyway.
That's my point, Xavier. Xavier, that's my point. They kill us with how they take us all around this cul-de-sac in the writing to get right back to the main road. It's like, okay, Doc, if this is what you wanted, why you just didn't offer to do the money when y'all having this ominous and secret argument after the game and dude sitting there giving you the evil eye during the game? Like, why you just offer to do 2 times his buyout for him to go away quietly? Like, why did y'all have to go all around here to get us to that point? I hate when they do that with the writing. It's like they're lost in the writer's room and they don't know what other direction to go with the character. So let's just go with the cleanest, easiest way to cut the character story arc and move on to the next.
All
right, man, this one, all you.
Yeah.
I thought you were taking your earrings off. Okay, I'm sorry.
They already off. They's already off. I ain't even put them on because I already know.
Let me find out your little thug missus, Bill.
I'm telling you, listen, hey, I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. You got to have a little in you.
Oh yeah,
you got to have a little Okay, so I just get so annoyed because Phil, you downplaying it. I know you think you got it in the bag. I know you think you got it, and he can control the situation and scenario. But she has an agenda, and she is playing the long game. And I don't think Phil ready for it. He ain't ready for the long game.
And Jeffrey seems to be concerned about it as well. He's like,
Yes.
well, part of it is I have to play a little politics with her, but ultimately I'm in control. Like, no, you may think you're not in control. That kiss was a test.
Yes, I told my boyfriend. I was like, she tested his boundaries.
Yeah, she was testing his boundaries. Absolutely testing his boundaries. How far can I go? How far can I go?
Yep. Because in that minute, in that moment, had he really had boundaries up, he would have been like, it would have been way more.
He would have shut everything down. He would have shut everything down. Like his partnership, everything would have been shut down. Like, I'm sorry, we can't move forward. He gave her a political answer in response and saying that, we got to keep this professional. But what he really should have did was like, Erica, if this is what you want, like, I don't want no parts of this. I'm happy with my situation at home. Like, I'm sorry, but this ain't gonna work. This is not gonna work like this. He was supposed to go ahead and tell her like she can kick rocks.
He should have mushed her. Yes, Xavier, you absolutely right. I don't condone physical violence, but he should have mushed the shit out that lady. Mush her, for real.
And she leaves her little bottle of champagne, like, oh, well, you can celebrate this with your wife.
Throw that shit out.
Cristal.
Yeah, throw that shit out, right.
Bro, ain't nobody drink Cristal since like the 90s. That was the first thing I saw when she bought that bottle. I said, where the hell they find a bottle of Cristal? I don't even see it. She came
up with it. She brought it with her.
I know, but I was like, where'd she find it?
She thought that they were going to and celebrate. She thought they were going to celebrate. She thought it was going to be a celebration right there in his new office. She thought she was going to christen the place.
Jeffrey trying to tell her. Jeffrey trying to tell her. Like,
Jeffrey, like, look, take this napkin, get this lipstick off for you. And remember, you got a wife at home, and this one right here, she hot.
Leave her in the street where you find her.
Leave her in the streets. She for the streets. Leave her in the streets. Right.
Now, was it just
before you end up in the streets?
Okay.
Was it just me, or when Jeffrey brings up in this episode that unknown number, that immediately you thought it was about his son? And
it is.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, it is. But I'm saying, like, was that the first thought? Because immediately, as soon as he said it, I was like, oh, bro, that's your past catching up.
You know who I think it is?
Exactly
I think it's the baby mama playing on the phone.
You thought it was the baby mama playing on the phone?
I don't know why I went there, but that was the first thought. I knew it was something that had to do with the son, whoever was playing on his phone. Mm-hmm. But then I kind of feel like it might be that ex-gang of his.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I thought it was, what's his name? Frederick? His name's Frederick, right? His son?
The son. Playing on
I thought it was his son calling him, like, wanting to talk to him. But then as soon as he picked up, like, he just hang up because he couldn't, I don't know, like, he couldn't get up the courage to talk to him. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, well, no, because the last episode, they got to talk before he left. So, and then I was like, why would he be calling him from an unknown number? So, that's what I looked at it. But as you can see, when we get there later on, that was not the case at all. This guy right here.
This dude right here. Again, I'm just going to fast forward through this real quick.
Please.
Because this is the same conversation we saw them have last week. So we could have just done without this scene. But Will again tries to approach Carlton and ingratiate himself to Carlton. I've always wanted a brother, and this is what it feels like to have one. And I'm still your guy. I know that me and you've had our issues, but you don't need to be hanging out with Carter. Carter is bad news. He's just Carlton wasn't buying none of that shit that he was selling. Carlton wasn't trying to buy none of that shit that he was selling. Carlton was like,
I wouldn't either.
Yeah, all right, Will, get up out my room. I gotta get dressed.
Okay. I gotta get high.
Yeah, I gotta get high and get dressed. I gotta get high and get dressed. So step off.
You taking too long. I'm trying to get high right now. I'm sorry.
Carlton this season. Carlton, I think, has had the most interesting plotline story.
Yes.
He definitely has.
Entire season.
He absolutely has.
I've really enjoyed his journey this season.
Me too.
It seemed like this whole season has just mainly been about Will and Carlton.
Yeah.
Like they've been the main 2 points.
Yeah, Carlton has been a very big point of, I really like what he did with his character.
Me too.
They're dressed for the so it's the Night of the Founders Award. I thought that This scene right here was done very well. At first, I thought it was going to be on some let's big up Will and let's leave Carlton out in the dark, but the family did good. I really appreciate Ashley's. She was very neutral. You know, she told both of them what she liked about both of them, and they both were her heroes. And I thought that was a very endearing moment. You know, Hilary should have been there as well to wish them off, but she's somewhere trying to get ready for that red eye. Yeah. Again, these are the views and opinions that are for entertainment purposes. They are not a depiction of what we think about Coco Jones. She's not a thought in real life, just this characterization of the show. We want to make a little joke about her being a thought. We just want to make a little joke about her being a thought. We're not saying that the actress Coco Jones is a thought in real life, okay?
Wait, why do we have to make these disclaimers? People don't know that already? What's happening?
Just for entertainment purposes.
Nah, some people.
Okay, I have to ask you offline because
just for entertainment purposes.
Okay.
All right.
Yes,
anyway,
Coco, we love you, girl.
Yeah, we love Coco. Yeah,
yes.
All right. So Jeffrey finally run up on Uncle Phil at the founders event, and he looks almost a little panicked. He looks a little manic. He looks a little like out source because I think at this point he's gotten a picture of him and Patrick at the diner.
No, this is when he traced it. He was.
He traced the number. He traced the number. Okay, yeah, he got the number. He told Uncle Phil that somebody been playing on his phone. Y'all remember the episode of the Chappelle Show? I don't like people playing on my phone.
Hey yo, that's one of my favorite skits. I used to say that all the time.
Listen, y'all know that is old girl from Power, Miss Washington. Miss Washington. Yes, I don't like people playing on my phone. Jeffrey said he don't like people playing on his phone. he don't read a reverse trace back on this unknown number and find out that someone called him from the UK. We instantly know that it has something to do with his past. Now, here's where I'm starting to get a little irritated because you use Jeffrey again to springboard this season. The mystery surrounding Jeffrey, why he was lurking around, acting all funky. Now y'all getting ready to do the same thing again for season 3. Y'all finna use Jeffrey as the plot device, and I don't like that. Do something else with the character. If y'all were going to introduce his son, y'all should have made it where he had a relationship with his son. No, we don't care about Jeffrey's gang past. We don't care about that.
No.
We don't care about that. We know that he came from a gang. We know that he's been in the streets. We get that. Right. We don't need that to revisit the Banks family. That ain't got nothing to do with those characters.
Right. We want to see Jeffrey moving forward, him dating, and career, and all the things.
Right.
Not that.
Yeah. Evolve the character. Evolve the character. Mm-hmm. Drew's trying to think he gonna get some. Drew, like she looking at him like I wouldn't even give it to you if it was that time of the month. I wouldn't even give it to you. Like no, she was like I'm disgusted. Just don't look at me.
Do he not look like Chris Brown? He looked like Chris Brown. I mean, prior to the.
That widow
but.
I would like a darker season 3 too, Xavier, but I want them to utilize Jeffrey's character for more than what they're because it's almost stereotypical at this point. Yeah. Like evolve the character.
Yes.
The only thing I like about this scene right here was that at least he kept it a buck. He was like, I can smell bullshit. I thought it was gonna be about Carlton, and then he brought it up about Will. And then I knew right then and there. I was like, oh, okay, well, here's where they about to be reunited. I was like, they about to be reunited now.
Yeah.
Yep.
I did. I got the same thing. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But I also agree to your point, Retro, about what Xavier said too.
I really feel like this ceremony should have taken place maybe in the school auditorium, not the library. Not the library, maybe the auditorium, maybe the gymnasium. Maybe
I was wondering why the hell there was some
tourist school. So I'm like, okay, surely y'all have an event hall,
right? The banquet hall or something.
Yeah. Jazz shows up to wish Will good luck on his big night, and they make up as well. So Will has now made up with everyone that he's had conflict with this season.
Yay!
Told you.
You're a great Avenger, Will.
Redemption.
Yes.
Redemption tour.
Yeah.
Shout out to this cerulean jacket that Jazz has on.
It's really nice. I like that jacket too. That jacket is everything. I like that.
Yeah,
I like blue jacket too. I would wear that. Actually,
Yes,
kind of
it's
reminds me
nice
of the
too.
jacket I have.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't normally get. Oh my god.
I told y'all this last week. I told y'all this last week. I told y'all this last week. I told y'all last week that Ashley and old girl was going on.
Oh, the
Do something strange for a piece of change. I told y'all this. I told y'all this.
When did this happen? Because
I said this would be a more interesting story if they would have made it where the little girl Olivia and Ashley will become love interests. But I said I'm not sure if they're going to do that because the characters are so young. When she referenced that rainbow pen and old girl gave her the eye, like, yeah, you want some of this?
I got so
I
pissed.
walked away. I probably walked away while this part went on. But you could tell by the way the little girl was looking at her when they were talking about Miss whatever the teacher's name was.
Miss Bastion, yeah.
Yes.
But actually I felt like that was a scene that they didn't do well either. Because if she was not going to be the one that was snitching, they should have told us who was.
Yes.
Because they made it a part of the story, but they didn't give us closure as to who was telling.
Right.
Who was telling?
Man, this thing pissed me off.
It's sloppy.
It just pissed me off because I knew it was coming. So as soon as the girl walked up, I said, "Oh, here it goes." And then, "Oh, I like your rainbow pen." And I was like,
"Oh,
and
I'm like, bruh.
I'm like, is this all Ashley character is going to be on the show?
I guess so.
I get it. We're in
She's the feminist. She's the feminist character, and then she is the.
I was like, I get it. We're in 2023. You know, we got to relate to 2023. But I'm like, is this all her character is going to be? Because, like,
you know what, David, I agree with you on that too. Go away with this. They couldn't find Ashley, a black girl, to fall in love with, right? And then you know what? The other little girl that she was checking for, was she like Josefina? She was Latina or something. It's this. It's this. It's this.
The whole being alone. Oh man, I was.
Who the fuck?
I was sitting here like Josefina. Who? I was trying to figure that out.
I think that was a girl name or something. I don't know. Shit, I don't know.
It might have been.
Oh my god!
But yes, Xavier, I don't understand that either because it's like the only person in the family that knows is Hilary. So it's like, so I'm guessing next season is going to be what the
revealing
reveal, yeah.
Like they're finally going to find out about Ashley the same way they found about Carlton at the end of this episode. Like it's going to be about Carlton going to rehab, and then now we find out about Ashley.
Yep.
I was just like, yo, like, come on, man, y'all got to give her like, y'all could keep, that, but it's like bring her in more for something else than just besides this love interest.
Yeah.
And they do this with all characters that is I don't want to be inappropriate, but all characters in shows like this, they do this. Yeah. They give them this generic storyline that they have a love interest and they just drag it along and they insert it here, copy and paste it there. It's we've seen this before. That's real. Before. The only way that I'm going to have interest in this storyline is if they would have made the character, kind of like, because at first they were kind of going that direction where she was struggling with her sexuality. Mm-hmm. And because she was struggling with her sexuality, it led to something else. Her, acting out or, being scared to tell her family, or when her family found out that they didn't accept her. If they were going that direction, I might be interested in the storyline. But this right here is, we see this all on every show.
Yeah.
Will pulls up on actually Jackie pulls up at the event and Doc's at the event. He's like, "Oh, Doc's here, great! My whole family is complete now." Yeah. And Jackie comes, he gives her the brush off. He's like, "Listen, I ain't here for you no more." and he saw Lisa looking from a distance. Lisa runs off, and she has her moment where she has to catch her breath because the dude that you love is in the face with another woman. Oh God, this is boring. And runs off to the library and embraces her and says, "Forget what we said. I want to be with you, Lisa." And I'm like, "Oh God, this is so corny."
I mean, it was corny, but at least he finally revealed it because it was just like, yo.
And what she was waiting to hear. And what she was waiting to hear.
But I could have swore he had already revealed it, but she didn't. And I think that's where the signals got crossed because remember she was talking to herself in this like, you know what? No, I don't want him, etc. or whatever. She was trying to deny her feelings after what I forgot the dude named Drew or whatever his name was told him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like she was trying to deny it, and then he finally realized like I'm lying as well. So I like that part, but it was still corny. I mean, I like that part, but it was still corny.
Didn't he sleep with Jackie in the last episode? So how all of a sudden you sleeping with Jackie in the last episode, and here you are again, just swapping spit with somebody?
This is how you get mono. This is how mono is.
This is how mono.
You know what?
Yeah, this is how mono gets contracted. Okay.
Yes.
This is mono.
Yes.
Gonorrhea, syphilis,
all that.
All that.
It said mono.
Mono.
But you know what? Isn't that around the age where mono be real rampant?
Or even that it's gonna be that cold sore that you can't get rid of.
Right,
exactly. Cold sore you can't get rid of. Better get some more breathing.
Right.
But I think he was doing the same. I mean, I think he was doing the same thing that Lisa was doing. They was both just trying to deny their feelings for each other. But I think after he found out Jackie's intentions, that's when he's like, "Whoa,
yeah, this ain't where I need to be.
This ain't where I need to be."
And I'm glad he woke up to that. But yeah. We knew that it was going to be that.
Like,
we knew that.
It was in my corner.
Yeah, we knew that.
For real. Look at Xavier comment. Not the do people still get mono, but the one before that.
Oh my God.
Oh my
Bro,
God.
this is Peacock like
right. This is Peacock. That's
Showtime.
Right. Not Lifetime. It's Peacock.
Carlton is back in that locker again. He's getting his whole life right now.
Oh my God.
He get a whole bag of his life right now. He get a good scoop of it. Yeah. Like at this point, dude, do you need a spoon?
Yeah, right. Just eat it. Straight up.
Eat it.
Just eat it. Just eat it. You might as well at this point.
What I didn't understand on this one though, it was like you put your head in a locker.
Yes.
The first time
you ain't put your head in the locker. You just out in the open with it. Like, and that's how.
Yo, when Ashley rolled up on him, like I like how they age her character, and then at some points I feel like she's a 12-year-old girl, and sometimes I feel like she's at Hilary's age. Well, she rolled up on him real quick, and she was like, "Yo, what's that?" And he's like, "Oh, this is Xanax." Again, I've been arguing this fight since we started watching Bel Air that Carlton was on coke. I told y'all Carlton was on coke. It wasn't Xanax.
Okay. I will give you that. I will give you your right. Here go your right. Here you go. I'm picking it up. I'm handing it to you. Here go your right. There it is.
Thank you. But he pretty much tells Ashley that it's Xanax. She's like, "I'm not stupid. It's just coke." And he kind of yokes her up a little bit. Told her, "You better not say nothing." Like he yoked up, threatened her a little bit. I was like,
I honestly thought he was gonna hit her.
I thought he was too.
I did too.
I thought it, he was, like I said, he was having a coke rage. So when
he was having a coke rage, yeah.
I was like, yo, he about to flip out and like he about to slap her or something.
Yeah, I thought he was about to yoke her up or something, put her in the locker.
That's why you can see in that next scene, he realized like, oh,
I done messed up. And I think this is where he made the decision that he was going to come clean about himself because he saw that he hurt his sister.
Yep, that coke. And that's when he realized like, it hit him like, yo, what did I just do? Like,
Yeah.
I'm with you, Xavier. When he grabbed, I said, "Oh, he a total crackhead at this point. He
Yep.
a total crackhead."
But what would have been a better story for me is that he would have came to this realization, and instead of coming clean with everyone, fighting the fight on his own. You know, that I got to get off of this because I almost hurt my sister. Like, I really want to see him battle those emotions that he just upset his sister that just told him that you my hero. Like, I really wanted him to suffer in that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
He got off too easy with that.
Yeah, he did. I agree with that.
Hilary trying to get her things together and catch her ride to the airport. And Jan show up and like she's like, basically, you too little, too late, sir. Because I'm gonna get on this plane. Like, all this shit you saying sound good. It sound real good, but right now I'm on a different vibe right now. And I'm on this Learjet vibe right now. So I'll catch up with you later.
Sorry, Jazz.
But I'm not.
I thought this was gonna be the thing where they was gonna reconcile and whatnot, honestly, because it was like I said, the whole episode was almost like a redemption episode. So I kind of felt like, yo, this scene, it's about to happen. Now they about to make up. But then once he said, what was it? Oh yeah, when she said, "Can you promise me?" I forgot what it was. Something we probably. And he said,
"That
"Nah,
you're not gonna hurt me no more." That you're not gonna hurt me no more.
Yeah. And so then right there, when she said that, I was like, okay. Yeah, I was like, yeah, she probably about to go with the other boy. But I was like, shoot, that's just life. You can't promise. Like, he might say something that might hurt your feelings. Like, but
yeah. But this was the perfect time to address the. I'm sorry to interrupt. To address the elephant in the room from last week when she showed up at his event and she saw him dancing with other girls. She should have said something to that, and his response to that could have been that, well, I was really waiting for you to show up the whole time, or whatever the case may be. So, I mean, Hilary, you share a little bit of responsibility as well. So don't put it all on Jazz. Don't put it all on Jazz, because you share in a little bit of this responsibility as well.
I thought that convo was going to be had too.
I thought it was going to be had too. Virgin Love, he was saying how he yoked up his little sister. He ain't had to do her like that.
He didn't at all.
She sent Jazz on his way. Like, you delaying me right now. Like, I need to make sure I'm there before TSA. Well, I got TSA pre-check, so I can move through.
Pre-check.
Yeah, I got pre-check, so but I need to be on my way out. So
right.
See you later. Carlton wins the award.
Which
who else thought that Will was going to win the award?
I didn't.
And who else thought that they were going to give Will the award after Carlton blew his whole spot up? I felt like, okay, well, our runner-up candidate is Will Smith.
That would have been
so bad. What she meant, how his insecurities made him into a mean man. Yeah, he was kind of a little obsessive with her a little bit in regards to his insecurities, and he tried to portray them off on her. So I will give y'all that. He in such a way took his insecurities and made them her insecurities. Because otherwise she wasn't even thinking of them in that respect.
Exactly.
That you on the low end, I'm on the high end. She wasn't even approaching them like that. Now, the only time she did sun him like that was when he wanted to cook dinner for her that time.
Oh, yeah.
And she was like, well, let's go back to my 5-star bungalow or whatever. But for the most part, she was very receptive to the fact that, you're a regular dude with regular money, and that's all I'm not interested in you for that. So I kind of feel like he did kind of take his insecurities and cast them off on her.
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
Carlton tried to give his speech, and he looked out in the audience. Everybody else is clapping for him. His sister, she sat there with her arms folded, like, shit you say. I ain't clapping this far.
I think that's what hit him.
Yeah. When he looked at this song, she was, and Jeffrey saw it too, like, oh shit.
I said, Xavier, oh my God, get out my head. I said the same thing. This was not the time or the place. This was not the time or the place to have this conversation about being on drugs. Maybe after he had gotten the award and went home and told his family.
And not only that, but you embarrassed your family and your family status. Your dad just got finished making a run for DA, so you have now ruined any potential chances of him running for DA again. Your mom's out here as a public spokesperson for a fellowship, and you decide to sit here in front of all these pink people and tell them that you are a whole life crackhead.
Pink people.
People.
Right. Oh my God.
And you gonna tell these folks that I've been getting high. I've been lying to y'all. I'm high right now.
He shouldn't have did that.
Like this is a recipe for expulsion, maybe when
Yes.
out of school, you know.
Yes.
It might be.
Because they're gonna want to know where he getting it from. They're gonna want Connor.
I really thought he was gonna blow Drew's spot up because Drew looked up there like, man, just shut the fuck up. Drew was like, shut up.
Oh, you mean Connor? I thought
You mean
Connor.
Connor,
Yeah,
Connor
Connor was shaking his head like.
Connor was like,
damn.
Yeah, Ashley said he is not my president. He might be y'all, but I ain't here for it. Ashley was like, no.
Okay.
This dude right here, a whole fraud. It was it was a powerful message, but I felt you on that, Xavier. I thought I was the only one that felt that like this was. I'm glad he decided to reveal his truth, but that should have been done in private with his family.
Yeah. That's why they were shocked.
And they looking at him like, what this? Like, let me get up.
But I mean, all that ripping and running they was doing in he's running his career, she's doing her thing. Y'all not checking in or paying attention.
It goes back to what Xavier's been saying. Xavier's been saying it all season that they were out of touch.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the fact that she picked in the last episode, she picked up her son, and the story that he gave her didn't even make sense. It did not make sense. I'm like, girl, you ain't investigate. You ain't. Jeffrey looking at him look like, nigga. I mean,
even Uncle Phil was looking at him sideways. Uncle Phil was looking at him like, yo, this ain't the truth.
Yes. Anyway,
what's up, Kewan? So they get home and Uncle Phil like, y'all, we need to talk to Carlton alone. I was like, who else thought Carlton was getting ready to get his life choked out of him?
Right.
I was like, Carlton's getting ready to leave here tonight.
I said,
yeah. He's going to meet Jesus.
Yeah, he's going to meet Jesus tonight.
Swing on him.
Yeah.
I said, it's coming. When he had his back turned, that whole scene, I said, yo, when he turned around,
he finna turn into the hole. Right.
I said, yo, they about to run the fade. I said, or he about to kick him out the crib. Either or. So I was shocked that none of that happened.
Me too.
I was hoping for it too. I thought it was gonna be that Ghost and Tariq scene. Y'all remember that episode of Power where Ghost yoked up Tariq? I just knew that Phil was getting ready to yoke Carlton up. I was scared for him. I ain't gonna lie, I was scared for him. I was like, okay, Carlton's getting ready to get a beat down like he's never gotten before in his life. When he turned around, especially when he asked the question, where are you keeping it? In this house?
Oof. I was like, oh dear.
I was like, this is right now. He's getting ready to die. He's getting ready to die.
It's over. It's about to be over. It's about to be over.
I was pissed off with Vivian too, but she was doing what a mother would do. But at the same time, I don't think that she had the typical black mom reaction.
No.
Like your child is admitted to the public that he is a whole crackhead and y'all are a well pristine black family.
Yes.
Yes. And this is what you chose to do up here at this school in front of all these white folks. Like, I don't know who should have been mad at her or Phil, because a typical black mom reaction to that wouldn't be, oh, Phil, leave him alone. Nah, she would be like, yo, tag me in.
Tag team, okay?
Tag me in.
Tag me in. Tag me in. No, for real. Like,
we're gonna beat his ass.
And his ass up. I don't understand. I think that, and that was annoying me a little bit, because I was like, Vivian, why are you being so calm about this? Your son just admitted to you that he's been using drugs for the last 2 to 3 years.
And I didn't even realize it was that long. Like, he said 2 to 3 years.
Yes, 2 to 3 years. 2 to 3 years. So I was just like,
Virgil, you are right. Carlton acts like he gets a personal satisfaction of embarrassing his parents.
He might.
And a black mom would have went there. Look, a real black mom would have got him up there at that school. I'm telling you, in front of everybody.
Would have been gathered him. Like, I just don't think. I think that Vivian, it was shocked. I was shocked to see how she was acting.
But of course, Carlton tries to put this back on his. Listen, Carlton, you have perpetuated this reality that you have for yourself about, oh, you're struggling with the anxiety and having to fit in for society. Your parents are rich. That's a good problem to have.
It really is.
It's a good problem because you don't fit in with the pink people. So freaking what? Your family is well off. You do well. But for you to sit here in front of your father after you just openly admitted to everyone that you've been on cocaine for 3 years, and you think someone's supposed to have sympathy for the fact that you have, oh, I came from a rich life and it was very hard for me to Nah, this dude, like, listen, I am tired of y'all trying to make me feel guilty about wanting the best for my family. Y'all enjoy all these luxuries. Y'all enjoy all this money. Y'all enjoy what this money brings to you. But then you want to sit here and run this on me? Like, I felt Uncle Phil in that moment. I felt exactly what he was trying to say, because I'm like, no, this ain't about me. This is about you, your overprivileged self, running to drugs instead of being a man and facing your problems. Now, that's not to take away from people who have mental illnesses, bipolar, depression, things like that. Those are true mental issues. But I feel like Carlton was being a spoiled, rich kid that's trying to fit in with other spoiled, rich kids. But the real issue that you have is you're black. Be proud of the fact that you are rich and black.
Right.
Don't be embarrassed. Don't be, I got to sidestep. I got to fit in with this crew because I'm rich and black. Nah, be that proud dude that come from a rich family, because a lot of families don't have the opportunity. That's what Phil was trying to tell him. Phil's like, look, I've given you all every opportunity that I did not have for myself. And you gonna sit here and whine to me about the reason why you doing coke is because we rich and you don't fit in with your little white friends? Get out of my face.
But I think the running.
Get out of my house.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'd like, ooh, he about to be sleeping on the street.
Rich people problems, right, Kewan? He got rich people problems.
He does, but I think the theme that they have been stressing, or I've kind of been picking up since the beginning of the season, is that Carlton is not strong. Like, he is not a strong-minded person. He's not strong emotionally, mentally, like all of that. He's just not strong. Not like Phil has, not like Will is, because of the environment that they've grown up. And I feel like maybe some of the luxuries and privileges that Carlton grew up in might, I don't want to say have crippled him, but maybe have, not
enabled him.
Maybe not have given him the ability to be as strong and as resilient as Phil and Will and anyone else who might have not had that same experience.
He was very flip with his responses, like, oh, well, I get money. Because when Phil asked him where does he get the drugs from and, how does he pay for it? He's like, well, I get money. He's like, yeah, you get an allowance. And you're using my money to buy drugs? Yeah, he should have punched him he should have punched him right in the stomach. Yeah,
that's what I thought was going to happen.
He should have brought him to his knees right there.
I was like, this boy is not going to make it. Somebody, please. I really thought. And the way he was crying, like he had gotten beat up, but nobody
touched you.
Nobody touched you. Not like they should have.
I mean, I understand Vivian to a certain extent, supporting her child and mothering him, but at the same time, she should be equally upset with the fact that he just lied to her. Like, she had to go pick you up in the middle of the night, and I'm not gonna say it was in a bad neighborhood, but that scenario could have ended very different for you and her. Because if those dudes was on some other type of stuff, they could have pulled up on y'all and robbed y'all, or whatever the case may be. Like, and you just lied to me in front of Connor's mom and everything. Like, she should have been more upset. At the same time, she could have mothered him, but she should have expressed at least disappointment in his lies.
Because this feels like coddling.
It was definitely coddling. He wants to, she would have choked him. Yeah, he needed some form of discipline.
Yes, Kiwan, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
I
like the way they did.
I love the way they shot this.
Yes.
I love the way they shot this.
Yes.
So Jazz is at his record store, and I don't know why he felt like, I don't know what gave him the impression that he thought that Hilary was going to show up. Where was he operating from on that?
I have no idea. Maybe he thought, because you saw a little smirk on his face when he went to go answer the door. I guess.
Like, I know that's her. Because especially how they ended the conversation, it didn't seem hopeful that she would come back around.
It didn't.
Yeah, so I don't understand what perception he was operating off of, that he would have thought that this girl was going to show up at his door and jump into his arms. Who can I run to? I don't know what he thought he was getting ready to get for her.
I don't know. Maybe he thought that, you know, what he said to her while he was at her house was convincing enough. I don't know.
To make her change her mind. To make her change her mind about going. Yeah. Okay. All right. I can see that.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, it's a knock at his door. Meanwhile, she's knocking at Lamarcus' door. He answers the door, is Amazon. Lamarcus answers the door, is Hilary. Like, I'm ready. Are we leaving right now?
I'm happy for her. Go ahead, girl. Get your go to Paris, girl. Shop, get your stuff, do all the things.
What'd you say earlier? Get your things.
Get your things, girl. Get your things. Okay.
What kind of things you gonna get? You talking about who can I want
all of it. The Givenchy, the Louis,
the saloon, yes, the saloon. Get all that. Get all that.
Shit, girl, get that, girl.
Get your Balenciaga. Get your Versace.
Okay. Get all that.
She gonna get everything she can get.
Yes.
Jeffrey opens up the mail, and there's a non-addressed envelope that's in the mail. That means someone put that in the mailbox. And he opens the envelope up, and there's a picture of him and his son when they were out to lunch or whatever. What is the angle that we're going with this?
It's the gang.
It's the gang, but what angle is it? Are they threatening Jeffrey with his son?
No, I think it's more so that they're showing that they're everywhere. They've been watching him for a long time. Because how would they know he's in LA? He's in Bel Air. Or unless they following his son.
Xavier told me she couldn't run to nobody but that lame ass Lamarcus. Listen, ladies, would you go to Paris after some dude hurt you? Like you. Bye for Jazz. Damn, everybody's saying bye for Jazz. Yeah. But I think when she gonna get over there to Paris, that's when she gonna find out about the real Lamarcus. When she get over there, she won't be getting her things like you say. She ain't gonna be getting no things over there in Paris. She might be getting in captivity. Exactly. She might be getting introduced to captivity.
No, I hope that's not it.
I don't think no captivity. I think that's when she's gonna realize that
I'm being facetious.
I do feel like something ominous is happening with Lamarcus, but I hope it's not. I hope he ain't putting his hands on nobody and no foolishness like that.
I hope that ain't either what they're showing us. Yeah, King Retro, Jeffrey's past is definitely catching up with him. So we're gonna see, and it may catch up to Frederick.
I thought I kind of got the impression that maybe the son that was being held for ransom or something like that, maybe, or they kidnapped the son.
That's why I want to go to the baby mama too, Xavier, because they haven't made a point to discuss the mother. So maybe it's, but I think it's more plausible that it would be the gang that's, threatening Jeffrey.
Mm-hmm.
Especially now that they know he's surrounded around money. So they may be trying to shake him down for a couple of dollars.
What if the son is in on it, y'all?
I was thinking about that too, because they made a point to bring it up in that episode about the gangs. I was wondering if the son was running a hustle. Running a hustle.
Okay.
To get back at Jeffrey for abandoning him.
Yep.
So I'm wondering if that's the angle that they're going with that.
I can see that.
Yeah, it seems weirdly placed. Okay, I'm glad you got this screenshot, Fresh, because I didn't get a chance to read this in the episode, what the card actually said. So this is Ashley's card to Carlton. Thanks for being the best big bro ever. You're always there for me when I need you. Congrats on your special night. So proud of you. No matter what, you're my hero. Yeah, after you yoked her up. Hurt that girl arm. You hurt that girl arm.
Shame.
Yoked her up. yoked her up, snatched her up, told me, you better not say shit. I'm like,
That
damn,
really
bro.
was sad. That really
That
was
was
sad.
sad. Yeah. She should come. She should bust in his room right now and get snatched that envelope right out of his hand and tear it up. I would have
Oh
died.
shit! I would have ran and told mom and dad, quick.
Um, I don't know, King Retro. I think Jazz and Hilary are going to find their way back to themselves, especially when they find out that Lamarcus is a whole fraud. I say that about old dude, but old dude might be all right. He might be all right.
Might be.
He might be okay.
Maybe it might be a new dude, another person.
I'm sorry, but I didn't want this scene. I did not want this scene. This is
Why?
not an accurate portrayal of how disappointment, hurt, lies, and deceit goes over in a black household. I'm sorry. Your parents just got the shock of their life. Ain't none of this, oh, it's gonna be okay. Yes, I would have still got help for my child, but I'm sorry. I need a moment to get myself together and process. I need a shot of Hennessy. Like this dude who came here and told me in front of all these white folks that he is a whole crackhead. I'm sorry. I wanted Phil to be a little bit more upset about the situation. I wanted
Maybe he had time.
maybe he
it
had,
was a couple hours.
maybe he calmed down. But I really want him to come in there and tear that room down and be like, oh, all these nice things that you got. Nah.
Okay, so I wanted that too, but I do feel like this was an important scene to have.
Yeah.
I feel like it was important. Maybe the next day, come grab all his shit. But in this moment, I felt like he needed a hug.
Well, it goes back to what Xavier's been talking about all season about their style of parenting. Uh, they don't inflict punishment on these kids. They let these kids live the rich lifestyle, but in the real world, you face consequences based on your action. And at this point, like you have just blown up your whole spot. You've messed up your career. You have messed up your school. You have messed up everything that you've been working so hard for. Like, there needs to be a message to Carlton, and I don't feel like he's learned a lesson. You know, you yoke your sister up. They should have found out about that. You yoke your sister up or whatever. Like, Carlton needs to be, fearful of what's getting ready to happen next.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll see that at the beginning of season 3, where he finds out that he's not going to get into the school that he wanted. He's going to get kicked out of Bel Air Academy. He may have to end up going to a different private school or a public school. Like, I need Carlton to face some consequences. And that, to me, that's what's missing here.
I think he will, though. I think he will face consequences.
He didn't tell them, right? Q1, yeah, he didn't tell them where he got drugs from, right?
No.
Yeah, because he kind of played it. He lied about that too. Because he said, I just get them around. It's Bel Air. You can get drugs from anywhere. I'm like, if you were smoking marijuana, okay, yeah, you can go to the distillery and get it. But cocaine? Like, I need to know if you're dealing with somebody on the streets.
Right. Right. King Retro said, agrees with Xavier and says that the Jezebel is gonna be Phil's outlet in the next season.
Oh, explain that. Break that down for me a little bit. Why do y'all feel like that? Because I don't feel like he going on fool with her no more. Unless Vivian, never too busy.
I feel like the door is open. The door is open because at the end of the episode, she asked Jezebel, sends a text to Phil and says,
"Yeah, he's still lying.
Want to go get some drinks with me later?" And he texts back, "Sure." And I feel like the door is open.
But he's posturing with her right now. He's just positioning himself because originally he was going to write back and say, "Hell no." And then he thought about it for a minute, like, I got to keep this. This is my purse calling. So, I got to, let me go ahead and put that. Yeah, I'll be there. We'll have a great dinner. But, I can kind of see that now that y'all say that because maybe Vivian gets too busy with this new position. And she's never at home. And
I'm not fooling with you.
And she might slide out on in their bed.
Yep, that's what I think. Oh, that's it, Kiwan. Delilah. Yeah, she got the Delilah spirit. That's it. It's the Delilah.
So we see that the transition happens, and they released a press release that Miss Janice is going on to retire and enjoy her golden years, and Miss Vivian is now taking over the fellowship. But I kind of like what you were saying about that earlier, Bill, that they could have given her a position to stay on with the fellowship, as she's stepping down from executive director, and maybe she could have stayed on as maybe support in a support function or something.
I agree.
Okay, let's see what King Retro talking about. He takes what he thinks is his parents' perception too deep into consideration, I think. And since he feels he can't meet those perceived expectations, he does drugs. Paris needs to step it up for Carlton.
I agree.
I'm not gonna put so much of it. Yeah, that's a very good point, King Retro. And I think the parents have contribute to his high expectations, but I don't feel like they've portrayed where they've put those expectations. Those are Carlton's perception of what everyone expects of him. So I don't feel like anyone else has put their expectation on Carlton, because if it would have been the situation like how it was in that episode with the family reunion, where the brother was there and was treating that son the way, if we had seen Carlton being treated like that, then I could understand the whole drug thing. But Carlton came from a nurturing environment. His cousin, on the other hand, came from an abusive environment almost, because that dad was like, they were playing like spades or something. He was like, "You didn't win. I'm gonna beat your ass when we get home because you didn't win the game." I'm like, okay, don't send him home.
He was yelling at that boy. I felt scared for him too.
I felt scared for him.
Is he gonna get beat up or something? Yes.
Yeah. Is he gonna get hurt when he get home?
Mm-hmm.
Between the fellowship and Carlton's rehab, Viv is going to be busy to support Phil like she normally does. Eric is going to slide in. You know what? They dropped a little Easter egg or a nugget to that, because she said, "Oh, you must just want me to go back to doing nothing. You open a new firm, you're gonna need help and this and that." So you're right. She might just slide on up in there.
Mm-hmm.
Next time she show up, she gonna show up with a trench coat on. Watch.
Viv, just tell me.
She's gonna show up with a trench coat on and some high heels.
That heifer.
Okay, I'm sorry, y'all.
Why should I say she gonna show up with a trench coat on? That's all.
Ooh, no.
And there'll be 3 knocks at the door. Vivian is proud of the fact that her and Janice can come to a mutual understanding that she's going to accept the executive director's positioning with her support. Want to grab dinner and talk work? My treat. What made her think that he would even be interested after you just tried to put a move on him, that he would want to be along with you again? So again, you're trying to test boundaries.
But as you can see, he replied, "Sure." So I'm lost on this. I'm lost between either.
He told you why.
I mean, but remember, at first he texts, "I can't do it." Then he erased it. Then he replied back, "Sure." So I'm lost if either he's doing it to play the game, to get the stuff, for the law firm, or because of all the stuff that's going on with the family, Carlton, etc.
Strong version.
He's like, you know what? I need a quick break. I need a break from all this. So yeah, I'm gonna go out to dinner with you.
That could be a good reason as well. I just felt like he's positioning himself yet again with her. He's positioning himself yet again with her, that he's not to a point right now where he can give her the cold shoulder.
Yeah.
The ink ain't dry on the contract just yet. So I can't necessarily piss her off right now. I need her in my corner, so to speak.
I didn't even
But
think about that.
doesn't she need him more than he needs her?
Nah.
Yeah, but he needs her resources right now to get this firm up and going.
I mean,
Yes, but then if they've already made the partnership and already have ironed out the details on how Phil is gonna create his own firm and serve as like a boutique consulting firm
Yep.
for the big large firm, why does he still need to posture himself with her? Like, I'm just not seeing why
They haven't made that clear in the writing as to why he feels like he needs to, but this episode right here clearly sets that tone for that, because when she kissed him, he should have told her to kick rocks then, but because he let her down gently, it leads me to believe that he needs her for something else, and they just haven't shown us quite yet what he needs her for.
That's her name, Erica. Okay, Erica the Jezebel.
Leave that hoe alone and leave that man alone. Leave that man alone. He don't belong to you, lady. Unc is stressed. He's stressed out right now. Unc need a drink. He needs some of the yak. He need to sit down and get his thoughts together.
Have a cigar. Call it a day.
I honestly, Retro, I don't think Vivian.
Hey, Virgin. That is it, Virgin. That is it. That is it. 100. That is it. She's giving him a level of attention that his wife doesn't give him, so to speak, if that makes any sense. Like, he's always kind of that supportive, Right now, he needs someone to process this with. He needs someone to process this shock of his life with. And I don't think that he's necessarily doing that with his wife.
I don't think maybe he don't know how to. I think he just, like I said, I think it's one of those, like right now, he wants that escape because he's like, all of this is going on, like everything at the same time.
Too much, right? Yeah,
it's so much going on.
Yeah, it's too much.
That's what I said. I don't know the angle with this yet. I guess we have to wait to season 3 to see. I don't know that.
I think he needs some mess up out of her. I think he needs some money up or something out of her. He needs some clients or something up out of her. He needs something else from her before he gives her the boot.
I don't think he. I don't think.
I don't know what the fool took the job for. Anyway, he needed. He got money. Damn fool.
That's what I'm saying. She needs him more than he need her. I don't understand.
I'm sorry. It's the Hennessy guy. I'm sorry. It's the acting myself tonight.
All I heard was saying for this son, you fool.
This fool. You big W.
For real. Now that he's about to try to start opening a firm, I feel like he needs to slow down. I feel like he needs to be focused on trying to get his son together.
Yeah, you need to be getting your son together. Like, y'all need to send his ass to Zurich somewhere. Y'all need to send his ass out the country to rehab. Yes. Y'all need to put him somewhere in like a boarding school type rehab environment.
Yeah.
Send him to a stabilization, like the one I used to work in, where them intakes come in and they going through withdrawals and they throwing up and pissing and all kind of stuff for 2 weeks straight. He need to be in one of them type of good old environments where he got to go to that class and deal with his coping. But put his ass on a plane to Zurich somewhere and send his ass off to a boarding drug rehab. Like, don't send him down the street where he can still have access to Connor, because Connor, I said it earlier, Connor is enabling him, and Connor still has access to him. So even with the whole rehab situation, if he still has engagement with Connor, Connor is still going to supply him with drugs. Connor's the reason why he's back on the drugs anyway. So I feel like y'all need to put distance between him. And I feel like Aunt Via, since you were a part of that conversation, you should call back to that and realize that they were working you over and that Connor is probably the one that's been supplying him the drugs.
Yes.
Like, I feel like y'all need to do something a little bit more drastic with Carlton to send a message. And I don't think that's going to happen. They're going to send him to Malibu for rehab. Something Malibu.
Probably.
So it's summertime. Who else feels like season 3 is going to be summertime thing between? It's going to be the Will and Jackie show next season.
You think so?
It's going to be the Will and Jackie show next season.
You mean Will and Lisa?
I mean, Will and Lisa. It's gonna be the Will and Lisa.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna be the Will and Lisa show next season.
I don't want to see that.
Right. Connor needs a drug partner. Right. Connor needs somebody to get high with. I agree with that.
Xavier, I was thinking this exact same thing. I was like, I didn't like that ending because I was like, how he get everybody else is going through hell and to
and he gets a happy ending.
And you know what I'm trying to say, and he gets the happy ending.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm like, how he get the happy ending? That didn't make sense.
He's the magical Negro. He gets to do it all.
Yep.
I was annoyed. I don't like Will. I'm through. I'm finished with him. I'm tired of his character. I'm over it.
Overall, I appreciate the story that they're trying to do with the reimagine, but I wasn't too thrilled about this season.
I wasn't.
I watched it.
It was so much better.
I watched it, but it didn't give me what I got from season 1.
You know, I think I've been looking at the episodes and thinking. I think it was because the first season it was brand new. We didn't know how they was gonna come at us. We come at us with it. We knew it was a drama. So that first season, everything was new. We was caught off guard. After we watched that first season and we saw where it ended, after that first episode,
we needed more drama.
Season, it was just like, yo, well, we know what's about to happen. It was just like every episode just became more predictable as what it was. I think,
Retro. It was cool, something to watch.
Yeah, it was. I think that's what it was. I'm just hoping season 3 maybe they'll switch something up.
You know what, Xavier? You might be right. We might do get Lou back next season. Like I said that last season, like for them the character, but we saw they did it with Ashley too. I mean, I feel like when y'all bring on certain people to play certain characters, that we should see more of them than just a cameo appearance.
Yeah.
Y'all could have Eddie Joe Blow play Will's father for one episode, but the fact that y'all made it Marlon Wayans, like it gave us hope that he was going to be on the show for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
And this would have been a different role for him. I would like to see how he done in this role. So maybe we do get him back.
We might, but then again, we might not, because like I said, they've kind of took episodes from the original Fresh Prince and just
remastered. Yep.
Yeah, just like, you know what I'm saying, remastered. And remember, we only saw Will father on the original Fresh Prince in one episode.
Yeah, that's true.
That was it.
That's true.
So that might be the same scenario here. I don't know, but I mean,
they definitely need to do an overhaul with the writers, because this is not.
Yeah, they need to bring in some new writers.
Yeah.
And I don't know where we're at age-wise with the original writers from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but it would be interesting to see them do a couple episodes. Maybe take some of the same episodes that they wrote and then do maybe a drama version of that same episode. Mm-hmm. It would be interesting to see how that.
I mean, it'd be dope. We get the original cast in here somewhere: Hilary and Carlton and Jeffrey, and
all in one episode.
Mm-hmm.
It would be dope.
Or spread out through the season. I don't know.
I thought we were going to get that this season when we had Tatiana Ali. I said, okay, they're slowly but surely introducing the original cast. So we got it with Will and the original. We got Aunt Via, the second Aunt Via, and Will's mom.
Mm-hmm.
And we had Ashley. I said, okay, slowly but surely they're dropping the cast in. Actually, I would have really been more interested in Janice's character a little bit if it was played by Janet Herbert. If Janet Herbert would have played Janice,
the original,
that would have been
really good.
That would have really been yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Because of her contentious, controversy around her character.
Yeah,
it would have been great to see her at odds with the other Aunt Via.
I agree.
I would like to see that. They could have played off of that.
See, that's why Peacock. I know y'all out there listening. That's why we got work for y'all.
Man, we got work for y'all, man.
That would have been the perfect.
I don't even need them big numbers that y'all pay these people for. Man, just give me a couple of dollars.
No. We need that big numbers. What you mean? Yeah, we do. We need them big numbers too. Sure.
I ain't thirsty. But
Serious ideas.
that would have been good. But I think the mom passed away, right? I think in this Vivian's mom has passed on now. But that would have been good. I really wish they found a way to bring Janet Herbert on the show and let her have her moment. That lady's been, she hasn't been at peace in years. So let that lady have her little cameo appearance as something,
Yeah, and she's a really good actress.
She is.
I really liked her. She did a lot on the show.
Yeah.
Y'all think it's gonna be renewed for season 3?
It's already
been renewed.
They announced it.
They announced that before the first episode of season 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they may even be in pre-production. I think I may have read somewhere that they're in pre-production.
Okay.
So it's definitely going to be a season 3.
All right, for those of you who are Power fans, come on back in about an hour or so. We'll have our first impressions posted for a Power. Really good episode this week, guys. So, Bill, we appreciate you coming hanging out with us. We got to figure out where we can fit you in again on the channel because we love you. We love you. Yes. We got love for you over here. So you can come back anytime you want. I know you don't do Power, but we can find somewhere. We're gonna get you back in here again or something.
Okay. Why y'all didn't watch Snowfall? Y'all really missed out.
Everybody is after us about Snowfall.
I watched Snowfall.
If you can sit through, okay, so now you're DJ Fresh. Okay, I have respect. Now, if you retro can sit through Power and Power's writing, you absolutely can get into Snowfall. It's chef's kiss.
It's too late. We missed that last train to Paris. Maybe
it's a lot to cover because that's 6 seasons. So
maybe I can talk Fresh into giving us an overall recap of the show. How about that?
Okay, it was good.
We'll work on Fresh with that since he watched it. Okay. I got to go ahead and get started. There, I got 6 seasons to catch up with. All right, we probably got some other announcements that we're gonna make. We're talking through some things right now of how we kind of want to go where the channel is. So we're gonna get you back over here for something. Okay, here go Virgil Love says Snowfall was good. I think Sharon asked about it last week. King Retro says Snowfall is the second wire.
Okay. King Retro, I don't know what you drinking or smoking over there, but I don't know if I can agree.
Nothing compares to the wire, sir.
I don't know.
I don't know. Nothing compares to the Wire.
I don't know about that.
And it's like on the Wire, every season was almost like watching a different show.
I heard that.
Especially when you got to like season 2. Season 2 is so different from all the rest of the seasons. When they were out there like on those ports, that was a whole different look at how criminal organizations and things happen. And
my bad, Retro. I read that wrong. Okay, you saying after the Wire?
Xavier posted something. Don't cuss him out.
Oh, Xavier, man, you about to get banned from the channel. You about to get banned from the channel. That's blasphemy. That is blasphemy. The Snowfall better than Wire. I don't even watch the show, and I can deny that. He's young. He's only 23. He don't even know nothing about the Wire. He was a little kid when the Wire was on, so he wouldn't know anything about the Wire.
Maybe one matter of fact, you know what? Maybe that'll be something. We'll have a comparison video or live.
We might need to do a retro review of the Wire. We might need to do a retro review on the Wire. Yeah,
both of those.
Yeah, let's do that.
Maybe something. Compare that with
because we're gonna need some work after power goes off anyway. So you know what? We might need to do that.
I still gotta. Well,
yeah, I know.
We're not on power because we was about to go down the rabbit hole. But
yeah,
I forgot we're not on power, so I'll save that for later.
Yeah, we got some good stories to talk about, so you know. All right, guys. Well, we have enjoyed y'all. We appreciate y'all coming through. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button on y'all way out. Share the video out. Come on back to see us on Sunday for our live recap for book 2. And of course, we're getting ready to post our first impression as soon as we get through here. So we'll see you guys. Belle, we appreciate you. Go ahead and plug yourself in, Belle.
Oh yeah, check me out, Bell Perspective TV. Real Housewives of Atlanta is coming back, y'all, next week, and I will be covering it. So come on to my channel. I'll see you there. Because those are the shows I care about. Don't be ragging on Real Housewives. Ooh. Get yourself together. Over
Yes,
there.
ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'll do that. Oh my God. All right, guys. We love y'all. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye, y'all.